The day my boss laughed at me in front of everyone, something inside me broke, not loudly, not dramatically dot, silently dot, and that's always the most dangerous kind. Look at you. Aarav, Mr. Khanna smirked, leaning back in his expensive leather chair. 5 years in this company, and still stuck at junior analyst level. Honestly, what do you even do here? The room burst into laughter. I stood there, holding my presentation file, fingers tightening around the edges. My throat burned, but no words came out. I improved last quarter's projections by copying past data. He cut in sharply. Don't insult my intelligence. More laughter. Even Rhea, the girl I thought respected me, avoided eye contact. That hurt the most. I lowered my head. Sorry, sir. Of course you are, he said coldly. Now sit down. Let the real employees talk. That word, real it, echoed in my head long after the meeting ended. That night, I didn't go home. I sat alone at a roadside tea stall, staring into nothing. The same questions kept repeating. Was he right? Was I really worthless? Bye chai thandi ho rahi hai, the tea vendor said. I blinked and picked up the glass, and that's when something clicked. Not anger, not sadness. Something sharper. Clarity. Mr. Kona didn't hate me because I was useless. He hated me because I was invisible, and invisible people can move without being noticed. The next morning, I walked into the office like nothing happened. Same quiet ARAV. Same lowered gaze. Same obedient tone. Good morning, sir. Perfect. For the next few weeks, I observed everything. Every email, every deal, I started learning. Silently. Carefully. Patiently. One night, while working late, I overheard something that changed everything. Mr. Kana was in his cabin, speaking on the phone. His voice was low, but tense. Double quotes. No, this deal cannot go public. He said, if the board finds out, I'm finished. My heartbeat slowed. I moved closer, just enough to hear more. It's just temporary fun diversion. I'll return it before audit. Relax. Fun diversion? That wasn't just unethical. That was illegal. I quietly walked back to my desk, sat down, and smiled for the first time in weeks. So, Mr. Kana, you're not untouchable after all. From that day, my goal changed. I didn't want respect anymore. I didn't want promotion. I wanted something much bigger. I wanted control. Over the next 2 months, I built something no one noticed. A complete digital trail. Every suspicious transaction, every hidden account, every manipulated report. Late nights became my weapon. While others slept, I collected evidence, but I didn't rush. Revenge isn't about speed. It's about timing. One evening, Rhea finally approached me. You've been different lately, she said softly. I looked up. Different how? You don't react anymore. It's like you don't care. I smiled slightly. Maybe I don't. She hesitated. Aarav, about that day. I'm sorry. I studied her face. Was she genuinely sorry or just feeling guilty? Don't be, I said calmly. You just chose the winning side. Her expression changed. What does that mean? I leaned back in my chair. It means, I said quietly, you should always be careful which side you choose. That night, I finalized phase 1 of my plan. Everything was ready. All I needed was the perfect moment to strike. And then it came. Company announcement. Annual board meeting. All senior staff required. I stared at the email and slowly closed my laptop. A small smile appeared on my face. Perfect, I whispered. Because in just 48 hours, Mr. Kana wouldn't just lose his job, he would lose everything. And this time, everyone would be watching. End of part 1. The storm is about to begin. Part 2. The boardroom was colder than usual that morning, not because of the air conditioning, because Something was about to go very, very wrong, and only I knew it. I walked in quietly, taking my usual seat in the far corner. Invisible AARAV. The same man, everyone. Ignored. Perfect. At exactly 10 a.m., the board members entered, sharp suits. Serious faces. Power. Real power. Behind them walked Mr. Khanna, confident as ever, or at least pretending to be. Let's begin, said Mr. Mehta. The chairman. Mr. Khanna stood up, adjusting his tie. Thank you, sir. This quarter has been extremely successful, sir, I said. The room froze. Every head turned toward me. Mr. Khanna's face darkened. Aarav, this is not your place. I know, I said calmly. But what I'm about to say concerns everyone here. Mr. Mehta leaned forward. Let him speak. That's when I stood up. For the first time in 5 years. I wasn't invisible. I'd like to present some additional data, I said, connecting my laptop to the main screen. Mr. Khanna stepped forward. This is highly inappropriate. What's inappropriate? I interrupted. Is stealing company funds? Silence. Dead silence. I clicked the first slide. Transaction logs appeared. Dates, amounts, hidden accounts, every detail, every lie. Mr. Khanna's voice cracked. This is fabricated, is it? I said, clicking the next slide. Bank confirmations, email records, voice, transcripts. The chairman's expression changed. This is serious, he said slowly. Mr. Khanna turned pale. Sir, I can explain. Oh, you will, I said softly. But not here. I clicked the final slide. A single line appeared. External audit team has already been notified. The room exploded. Board members started whispering. Phones came out. Tension filled the air. Mr. Khanna looked at me like he had just seen a ghost. You, he whispered, you did this? I stepped closer. No, I said quietly. You did. This to yourself? Security entered the room. Right on cue. Mr. Mehta spoke firmly. Mr. Khanna, until this investigation is complete, you are suspended effective immediately. That was it. 5 years of his power. Gone in 5 seconds. As they escorted him out, he turned back. His eyes burned with rage. This isn't over. Aarav, I smiled. It is for you, but for me. This was just the beginning. 2 weeks later, the news broke. Senior executive arrested for financial fraud. The company stock dipped, but then stabilized, and something unexpected happened. The board called me in. Mr. Mehta looked at me carefully. You've shown exceptional awareness, he said. Why didn't you report this earlier? Because, I replied calmly. No one listens to invisible people. Silence. Then he nodded. 4 point. A few days later, I got promoted. Senior analyst. But that wasn't my goal. Not even close, because while everyone thought the story had ended, I knew something they didn't. Mr. Khanna wasn't the mastermind. He was just a piece, and the real player was still inside the company. That night, I opened a hidden folder on my laptop. A name appeared, one I never expected. I leaned back slowly, a cold smile forming on my face. So, you chose your side after all, and this time, the game was going to be even more dangerous. End of part 2. The real betrayal begins. Part 3. Betrayal doesn't hurt. When it comes from enemies. It hurts when it comes from people who once stood beside you. And Rhea. She didn't just stand beside me. She watched me fall. I stared at the screen for a long time. Her name didn't disappear. Neither did the evidence. Encrypted. Messages. Offshore accounts. Hidden approvals. She was involved. Deeply. The next morning, I walked into the office like usual, and there she was. Smiling. Like nothing had changed. Aarav, congrats on the promotion, she said warmly. I looked at her. Really looked this time? How long? I asked. Her smile faded. What? How long have you been playing both sides? Silence. Her eyes shifted. That was my answer. You don't understand, she said quickly. I had no choice. There's always a choice, I said sharply. She stepped closer. If I didn't do it, I would have lost everything. I laughed softly. And now? She didn't respond. That evening, I made my decision. Mr. Khanna was just revenge. Rhea. She was justice, but I wasn't going to expose her the same way. No. That would be too easy. Too quick. Instead, I gave her exactly what she wanted. Power. Over. The next month, I helped her rise. Recommendations. Support. Trust. Soon. She was leading major projects. Sitting in high-level meetings, becoming important. And that's when I pulled the final move. During a major investor presentation, I stood up. Again, just like before, but this time, the room trusted me. I'd like to introduce the real architect behind our financial restructuring, I said. Rhea smiled confidently. She stood up. And then I clicked the screen. Her secrets appeared. Every transaction, every lie, every betrayal. Her smile disappeared, just like his did. You, she whispered. I stepped closer. You chose your side, I said calmly. Now face the consequences. The room turned cold again. History repeating itself. But this time, I wasn't the victim. Security walked in. Again. And as they took her away, she looked at me. Not with anger, but regret. Too late. Months later, I sat in the same chair Mr. Khanna once owned, but I wasn't like him. I didn't need to humiliate others to feel powerful. Because real power is quiet. Calculated. And patient. Someone knocked on my door. Sir, new junior analyst has arrived. I smiled slightly. Send him in. A nervous young man walked in, holding a file, looking exactly like I once did. Good morning, sir, he said. I nodded. Relax, I said calmly. You're safe here. Because I knew something now, something they never understood. Invisible people don't stay invisible forever, and when they rise, they don't just take revenge, they take control.